I would start off by getting 3 pens. You can write in one, it doesn't matter. So today is only note taking, so it is gonna get boring, but please remember to take notes. It is part of your grade. When we get back, as I explained, we are starting a new unit. That's parts of a circle. So there'll be 2 pages of notes. This side will only be notes on lines. So you can label that if you want. It's okay if you don't want to. Start off by drawing a circle about that big. And right in the middle of your circle, you're going to draw a point that's called the center. This center we always denote with the letter C. All right, now we're gonna go over some words you should know. From the center to the outside of the circle is called the radius. And if we remember back to what a radius was, it's a line from the center to any point on a circle. All right, so that's the first line we should know is a radius. Put a box around a radius, you need to know that. Put a box around center, you need to know that. We are putting boxes around vocabulary words that we're going to be tested on later. All right, lastly, what line goes to the center perfectly in the middle? It's a diameter, right? And if we're going to write this as a sentence, it's a line passing through the center, right? Diameter's all the way through, radius is halfway. Radius is half of the diameter. We'll get back to that later. All right, the next thing we need to know is a word that I'm pretty sure is going to be new for most of you. Chords. All right, so a chord is a segment. Underline segment twice. You have to remember that a chord is a segment. So a chord is a segment with 2 endpoints on a circle. So let's draw an example. From A to B. This is a chord. Let's draw another example. C to D. Chord CD. Has a little straight line hat. AB has this straight line hat. We can even draw one more. Call this point X, Y. This is XY. Right, so these are all chords. They're just straight lines that have endpoints on the circle. All right, now I have a question for you. Always, sometimes, never. A diameter is a chord. So is a diameter a chord? Think about the definition of a diameter and what a chord is. Always, sometimes, never, a diameter is a chord. Always, right? A diameter is just a straight line that passes through the center, but it has endpoints on the end, just like a chord does. So just remember that for later. All right, 2 more vocabulary words on this piece of paper. So this circle, you don't have to draw it too big, but there's going to be 3 definitions on this. All right, the first one, draw 2 points. Let's label them A and B. Now draw a straight line through it. Kind of looks like these, but what's the difference? Right? It's a straight line. It's not a segment. Now we're working with a line. So this is called a secant. Box it. It's a vocabulary word you're going to need to know. So a secant is a straight line. Secant is a straight line that passes through two points on a circle. So this is important. It's a line. It's not a segment. It's a line that passes through 2 points on a circle. New vocabulary word. You're going to draw a little point, and through that point, you're going to draw a line. How many spots is this line touching the circle? Just on this one point, right? It's not touching it here, it's not touching it here. A secant touches in 2 spots. This purple line, which is called a tangent, is a straight line. Again, line, not segment. That passes through 1 point on let's just draw a circle. I'm getting tired of writing the word. All right, so this is a tangent. This is a secant. Passes through 1, passes through 2. We can even name this point point C. It doesn't matter. But the important thing to know about point C right here, you can draw a little arrow. This is called a point of tangent C. Also, I totally spelled that wrong. I don't think there's a T there, but a point of tangent C is the point where you draw your tangent that's touching the circle. So is this a point of tangent C? No, because this line is a secant. This point is a tangent C because it's on the tangent line. All right? All right, next page of notes. You can flip your paper over. I'm going to. All right, this next section, so on the next part of your notes, you can write, we're still on circles, but we're moving over to angles. L before E, don't write angels. The word is angles. All right, so there's a couple vocabulary words we need to know with angles. Actually, it's only 2, I think, if I'm right. So, draw a circle here. You know what? Draw another one over here. So, over here, we're going to talk about central angle. Box it. Just as we've been doing. Our central angle we're going to draw over here. So a central angle, it's an angle with, you can abbreviate, so angle with vertex on the center. So first you need to draw your center. And again, we're always going to call that center C. So let's say I draw a point here and a point here. I connect it. I'll name this A, B. I just drew angle ACB. ACB. I can draw another angle D to C to E, angle DCE, right? Angle DCE, ACB. All right, so that's a central angle, right, where the vertex is in the center. Then we have, on the other side, an inscribed angle. Bear with me, we are almost done taking notes. So we have an inscribed angle, and this is an angle with, remember, you can do that. So an angle with vertex that is on the circle. You can underline on the circle, that's pretty important. So an example of that would be, let's call this X, W, and a Z. So this would be angle WXY. XZ. Hopefully you can see the difference between these two angles, right? The center goes all the way to the edge. Central angle, inscribed angle. All right, last set of notes. Only a couple more definitions to go. We haven't made our notes look pretty in a while, so let's do that. And do not forget, none of this extra decorative stuff is mandatory, but it might make these boring notes more entertaining. All right, arcs. Arcs is the last thing. So arcs, you can draw a little arrow here. Portion of circle on the edge with two endpoints. Running out of room. So an example of an arc would be something like this. It's on the edge, and its endpoints would be like X, Y. And the way that I would write that is literally XY with a curved hat. We're going back to hats if we don't remember that from earlier in the year. All right, only 3 more definitions. We're almost done. All right, so draw 2 circles. In this one, write minor, and then in this one, write major. All right, so a minor arc, like this minor mark AB, and I'll put it over here. So a minor arc is an arc, let's write this definition out. It's an arc with less than 180 degrees. So this is less than 180 degrees. And please box minor. You need to know what a minor arc is. All right, over here on the major side, let's call this D to F. What do you think this is going to look like? This is an arc with more than 180 degrees. So could it go from here to here? Would this be more than 180? No, right? You'd have to go the other way. So this is an example of a major arc, minor arc, major arc, minor arc. All right, and then there's one last arc. Oh, my bad, guys. All right, draw one last circle. All right, this last one is called a semicircle. You guys have seen a semicircle, but the important thing to know about a semicircle here is it's an arc with endpoints on the diameter. So this means that it's exactly 180 degrees. So minor is less than, major is more than, semicircle is exactly. So that means that it's going to be perfectly like this. Little arc hat. All right, that's it.